If you want to know how to manage time, you have to really start from the basics. You need to understand the nature of what it is and what kind of role it plays in your life. First of all, we need to understand that time is a resource which, first of all, is not renewable, but also it's a kind of resource that flows. No matter, if we compare it to money, it's the same kind of resource, because you take money and you buy an item. You take time and you buy with time a goal, an achievement, some kind of task. So you kind of spend time, you spend money on an item, and you spend time on achieving something. But in case of money, you can store it. The idea is that because with oil or cheese in your refrigerator, you can manage, you can decide that you're going to eat this amount of cheese for the next week, or you might decide not to eat cheese at all during this week. But when it comes to time, it's again the same kind of resource that you use to get somewhere. To buy an item, to buy a task, to buy an achievement with time as a fiat. But time flows. Even if you decide to not to use it, it's still going to be used. And this is why when it comes to managing time, it's not about allocating time somehow, as you would allocate your money. You would invest some money in stock, or put it in a bank, or buy real estate. When you think of managing time, it's really about using every moment well. Think about that, because there is nothing you can do about managing time. It somehow reminds me of a river. We cannot stop river from flowing. We can build dams, and but you still need the flow of the river. There is a difference between time, but again, with the rivers, you have the different approach to management. You decide that you're gonna use the power of the river the best you can. You might build several dams during along the river and invent various type of things. But you cannot decide that you're going to store the river in the bank and then invest this river in something else, or use it for something that you cannot. River flows the same way as time flows. And once you realize that time is this kind of resource, then you can notice a very peculiar difference in how we think, and how, maybe I would say, how we should think. Because we think that there is a certain amount of time, the resource of time, let's say 5 days, and then what we are trying to do is to achieve some tasks. We have deadlines, and we need to achieve some tasks in this deadline. Let's say I need to write an article in 1 week. I might do it today, tomorrow, or at the end of the deadline. But that's the time allocated to when the article needs to be finished. So here, time is like a fixed variable. And the tasks are the things that we are gonna do as many tasks as possible in that fixed amount of time in the deadline. But instead, we should think the opposite way. We should think about there is a task, and then we spend the resource of time, and we are getting, with every hour that we spend on this task, we are getting closer and closer to completing it, and then achieving the bigger goal and the lifetime goal or whatever. But in this case, time is the variable, it's not fixed anymore. We have a task that is fixed, and then we're going to use as much time as it needs for us to get there. And we're aware of that spending time on a task gets us closer to achieving the task. And if you think that way, I think, and it's kind of not intuitive. We're not conditioned to think this way. Our culture does not teach us this way. When we go to school, they tell us that we have to have this assignment ready by this time, and so on. It keeps going. I mean, in the work environment, in business, everywhere, it's all about deadlines. But that's an external world. But time management is really about internal world. And understanding this how this internal your relationship to this internal world of time works, I think is crucial, because not because I don't want to say that if you understand this, then you're gonna become more productive, or achieve whatever in life, whatever you call success. I'm not saying that understanding how time works necessarily gonna get you success or productivity. I'm not saying that for only one reason, because that's a trap. Because then you're going to start be doing this to increase productivity. And that's not the thing. The thing is to look at the fact as it is. That time, you're used to approaching time as a variable that is fixed, usually. And in that fixed amount of time, you need to do certain amount of tasks. And now, if you're going to switch your mind to removing the pressure completely, and acknowledging that the task is what I want. This is where I'm going. If I'm going to that direction, let's say I'm outside in the field and I want to go there, I'm going to take steps. I know that every step I take gets me to the mountaintop or wherever I'm trying to go. It's the same way. The tasks are the paths and pathways, and I have to decide where I'm going. And then the time is all I have. It's flowing, and it's my decision to use it well. It's like if I had a body that was making steps automatically, I couldn't stop it. And I'm in the field. I cannot control the fact that my feet are moving and I'm walking. I mean, it's crazy, but just think about it. My feet are walking. I have no control of that. But I can decide that every step I take gets me closer to either this direction or that direction or whichever other direction that it might can get me. So all I can manage is where I go, and that's really what time management is about. Because right now I'm going to wrap up this video, and I hope there is something that you got beneficial out of this approach. And if so, I hope you will subscribe to my YouTube channel. Even if you push the notification button, you can see that this is my first video. Even this call to action to subscribe to the button is new to me. I'm not a YouTuber, I hope. I'm not a YouTuber yet. But the point where I want to summarize and promise you that I'm going to expand this insight into some bigger picture would be this. Now think about this. If time is all we have, and that's a resource, and that's a flowing resource, and the only choice we have is to use it well or not so well. There is nothing else we can do to manage time. We cannot store it anywhere. We cannot compartmentize. We cannot do anything with it. We just can use it well from moment to moment. So the question of time management then becomes how to make every single moment as productive as possible, or how to make sure that every single moment is the step that takes you to the right direction, to where you want. Because if that's the only thing to manage in time management, all we need is to concentrate. Because at the end of the day, the productivity of the day, or where you got, where the day has gotten. Sorry for my English. Also, I hope my English is not too disturbing. I'm just trying to be honest. I mean, I speak as I can, but the idea that I'm presenting to is important. Sometimes, if I get stuck like this, I hope you get used to it. But what I was trying to say is that there is certain amount of productivity that we can get out of the day. It's like in the symbol of steps. There is so many steps during the day that you can take, and then it's up to you only to decide. You cannot change the amount of steps. You cannot change the fact not to take the steps and hold it for tomorrow. You cannot store it. You can do anything about it. And where one day gets you depends on where every single hour gets you. And where every single hour gets you depends on where every single minute will get you. And every single minute consists of every of those 60 seconds. And the 60 seconds consists of like flawless, continuous time intervals. I mean, let's not get into the physics, but the idea is that the productivity of the day really only consists, or is the sum, not more, not less. There is no synergy, no magic. There is only this. Productivity of the day depends on the productivity of every single moment that you're experiencing. And by productivity, I don't mean necessarily big financial outcomes. But by productivity, I mean, did you get closer to your goals? Did you get closer to where you wanted to go with the steps that you took? Or did you browse around and waste your energy on the things that you didn't want, that you didn't choose? So if you make every single moment as effective as it can be, even if the effectiveness of the moment is being lazy and, just laying around, accepting that even matters. But in the further videos and on this YouTube channel, I'm going to be explaining how to do this and how to expand this approach into something that is practicable and that you can apply to your daily life. I want to again remind you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, even push for notifications, and I hope I'll see you next time. And in the comments, I want to ask, what is your approach with time? Do you see it as a fixed variable? And then in that fixed variable, in the deadline, you have to do as many tasks as possible? Or do you see this as a resource that you're going to be allocating to this task, and that task? What's your approach? Or maybe then you have any different approach, and I'd like to hear. Thank you.